my little intro didn't even play. That's crazy. I'm looking like, is the video playing, but it don't look like it's playing? Hey, family, we are live, and I wasn't ready for it. So let me do this and share the link. Hold tight, my brothers.
I don't got no friends. I don't got no friends. You know what I mean? I got supporters, people on my side, and people on the other side.
Welcome to the shift where the whole room glows. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. Kiss you flat, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. This that channel that be talking back, energy attack. Iron sharp as iron, watch the whole league react. Competition in the building, better tighten up your facts. We ain't clones, but we still mirror how you crack under impact. Every debater work hard, spot a weak, rap fast. You live wrong, paradigm shift, and break your stance. I'm the judge, the jury, the pen, the contrast. My bars hit always like a quadruple, bottom to the shift, where the whole room glow. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't all align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. We invite every mind, long as you stand on yours. Walking with respect, leave with open doors. Channel stay lit, views jumping off from Fords. STL bounce, yeah, the spot from the source. Competitors, welcome, step up, don't fold. We don't fit pressure, we refine under load. Thoughts heavy, we press them till the truth gets told. Shift so clean, it feel platinum even when it's gold. Come through correct, bring your logic and your proof. Speak your truth, just don't run from the truth. We debate with grace, that's the paradigm groove. Flow so smooth, even turbulence move. Welcome to the shift where the whole room go. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Where the home go. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' go. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibes got the city on go. Welcome to the shift. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. Welcome to the shift. If you black, I'm with you, black, I'm with you. Welcome to the shift. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. Welcome to the shift. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibe, got the city on low. Walk with paradigm shift, keep it real for.
Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you black, I'm with you. And I hope that you with me. All right. Welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. This is your brother, the infamous DMG. And I'm going to cut straight to the chase. I just heard the greatest nickname for a tag team that I've ever heard, and I'm going to let my brother Phil Fox repeat it. So my brother, please reintroduce yourself to the Paradigm Shift TV 314 audience.
Nidosha Mabehe Mirishi Ma'ayagadash Hets Maragua. My name is Mr. Phil Fox, but my name that was given to me by my grandfather is defeats the enemy, Ma'i Hagadesh. Coming to you live from the lands of actually my homelands, the Mandan, the Hidatsa, and the Arikara people. Not of the what did they call me the other night, BK?
$5 Indian.
The $5 Indian, the prairie dog, whatever. No. From the Mandan, the Hidatsa, and the Arikara people, I am the second half of who is now known as the Shanana Twins, with me and my brother BK Apologist.
Oh man,
that is the greatest Nick. Look, hey BK, man, y'all might have to sign up for Worldview Wars Debate League as a tandem in the tandem division, man. I've been trying to kick that off, man. Y'all could be the debate equivalent to the LOD. I don't know who hawk and who animal.
Hawk animal.
BK Apologist, the Don of urban apologetics. Please reintroduce yourself to the Paradigm Shift TV 314 audience.
Yeah, what's going on, part of people, the place to be? I go by the name of the BK Apologist, transmitting all the way live. New York is the city, Brooklyn is the borough. What's good? What's pop? We here.
The notorious.
Notorious
Apologist. I mean, you know, Brooklyn, man, Brooklyn. I'm an old school hip hop guy.
Right.
That being said, what are you brothers about to tear apart and dismember? Ideologically, of course.
Of course. Well, I guess I'll start for a minute. Well, yeah, always. So, and I'll throw it real quick to Phil. So, you know, I'm a subscriber to the Paradigm Shift channel. So, you know, I get an alert, you know, of course. Come on, you already know. And, you know, so I saw that ISUPK was on your channel and they were doing a presentation on the history of Mound City. And of course, beyond that, you know, they were speaking about one of their talking points that not only ISUPK, but most One West derivatives speak on how the Native American is a Israelite. So, of course, me being who I am, you know, I'm like, hey, I think Brother Kadesh would love to hear what these guys are expounding upon. And, you know, he went onto the chat and they said some disparaging things about Mahagadesh. So, you know, so we're here to kind of set the record straight on some of the things that was said in this video. So Kadesh is on you, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I was listening in to the last panel, you know what I mean? And there were some things I could rock with, you know what I mean? I'm not here to try to discourage anybody from believing what they want to believe, you know what I mean? But the problem that I have is I'm fine if you want to be a brew, if you want to be an Israelite, you want to be a Hebrew, yo, that's on you. That's cool. I don't have no problems with that. But what I do have a problem with is when some of these Israelite groups, just like my brother BK said, is they don't just simply, you know, make the suggestion, or they don't just simply imply. They do it emphatically. And even to the point where they are trying to go to different indigenous activities and events. And they've even gone to some of our communities and tried to propagate this lie that, and also they're making some really grand assumptions, thinking that we don't know who we are as a people, when and also further, they're trying to then weaponize our history, the reality in which that we continue to live in as indigenous people, the racism and the atrocities and the historicity of the things that still impact my community today, right now. I have elders in my community who still are impacted and who are struggling through life because of the boarding school system. And they're trying to use that to stand up and propagate and further push this lie that indigenous people are Israelites, when we have plenty of proof. And us, indigenous people, are saying, no, we are not, because we have our own culture, we have our own life ways, we have our own culture ways, we have our own language, we have our own teachings, we have all of this stuff, but yet ISUPK knows better than I do. I live this. Y'all can just read about it. I live it. I am it. But yet they're going to try to come and they're going to, the only answer they have for me, and they think they slick, is when I know when they run out of answers, because their default and the thing that they fall back on is, oh, well, this guy must be a $5 Indian. Oh, yep, he's a $5 Indian. Because y'all can't touch the things that I'm saying, because y'all don't know, and we're going to show your ignorance tonight. And that goes for the abos too.
Hey,
Phil's not shy, by the way. Phil's not shy. I don't know if people knew that. Phil's not shy.
Whose idea was it for this guy to come on here starting this trouble?
You, DMG.
You've been asking for a long time, man.
Here it is. This is what you wanted.
BK, that was rhetorical. Okay. Hey,
and I'm
BK, I'm gonna let y'all have it. I'm gonna mute out. I'm gonna step away and.
Okay.
My bad. I hit my mute prematurely. I'll be right back.
All right. So, well, even Jose Francis is with you, Phil. He said, get them elbows too. That's great. All right. So we're going to look through that video. We got a couple of clips and we're going to give some commentary. And, cause it's not just the whole Native American Israelite. There's a lot of things they say that's just not correct on various topics. So with that being said, let me share my screen and let's get to it.
Hop into it. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to fellow Shenana member, Michelle Turner.
All right, let me play it again because Phil's talking over here.
It's not even showing on my end, bro.
Nah.
No, DMG's gotta let us.
DMG, man, you gotta share my screen, bro. You can't leave, man.
Phil talking over here. Yeah, he's not sharing it yet, bro.
Yo, D, man.
Yo, D. I'm gonna step away. He left.
So, well, you know what? While we're waiting for DMG to come back, even though this is not on the video, we know that, you know, they make various claims to try to back up this talking points about Phil being, you know, an Israelite. And one of the things that has been used by different Israelite groups, specifically IUIC, is this blood pact. And they showed this drawing, and this drawing is supposed to be a primary source to show that the natives are Israelites. Phil, I was wondering if you could share a little bit of. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, D, you gotta stay put, man. You gotta give me so I can share. All right, so we'll get to that story later.
That's what I said when I guess I accidentally muted myself. I had to go pay a water bill.
Understand. All right, so here we go.
Let's see if I can get a better picture real quick.
Basically, an Earth pyramid, and that's how you know we are those same people that built those pyramids over there in Egypt. Because you have more pyramids over here in America than over there in Africa.
So we're gonna stop right there. Actually, we're gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna share my other screen. So these gentlemen are
So
saying,
your screen's not up. Oh, there we go. Now it's going.
right? They're saying that, and that's how you know those same people that built those pyramids over there in Egypt. So they're claiming that the Israelites, who they claim to be, built the pyramids. There's a problem with that. When we look at Lester Grave, Ancient Israel, says here that Old Kingdom covered dynasties 3 to 6, 2700 to 2150 BCE, during which time most of the pyramids were built, right? Most of these pyramids were built during the Old Kingdom. And when we look at Joseph in Egypt by Charles Erling, PhD, he says, mainline contemporary scholarship and the Bible's own chronology are in accord in dating Joseph sometime between 2000 and 1600 BC. This time frame includes two important periods of Egypt's history, the Middle Kingdom and the Second Intermediate period. So the pyramids were built in the Old Kingdom. Joseph doesn't come in until the Middle Kingdom. Now, this is not saying that the Israelites, or those who would become Israel, did not have the technology to make pyramids. That's not the point. The point is, by the time Joseph and his family come into Egypt, the pyramids was a foregone conclusion. So the Israelites did not build the pyramids. So, but they did build stuff, right? It's Exodus 1:11. So the Egyptians assigned taskmasters over the Israelites to oppress them with forced labor. They built Pithom and Ramses as supply cities for Pharaoh. So again, it wasn't that they weren't enslaved. They were, and they were oppressed with forced labor. But not for the pyramids. It was Pithom and Ramses that they built. In fact, and this is from Jonathan Shaw, the pyramids, now drawing on diverse strands of evidence from geological history to analysis of living arrangements, bread-making technology, and animal remains, Egyptologist Mark Lehner, an associate of Harvard Semitic Museum, is beginning to fashion an answer. He has found the city of the pyramid builders. They were not slaves. So not only was Joseph too late to build the pyramids, the people that built the pyramids weren't slaves anyway. All right. The surprises were just beginning. Faunal analyst Richard Redding of the University of Michigan Museum of Natural History identified tremendous quantities of cattle, sheep, and goat bone, enough to feed several thousand people even if they ate meat every day, Lehner adds. Redding, who has worked at archaeological sites all over the Middle East, was astounded by the amount of cattle bone he was finding, said Lehner. He could identify much of it as young, under 2 years of age, and it tended to be male. Here was evidence of many people, presumably not slaves or common laborers, but skilled workers feasting on prime beef, the best meat available. So not only did Israel did not build the pyramids, the people that did were not slaves anyway. All right. So, Phil, I don't know if you want to say anything before we get to the next clip.
No.
For the record, BK, you not saying this to say Israelites weren't slaves in Egypt. You just simply say,
well, I showed that they were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I showed that they were. They were oppressed, and they built Pithom and Ramses.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, right, why we're showing some of this is supposed to be the teacher that's teaching, right? He's supposed to be one of the high up. I don't know what his rank is according to ISUPK.
Officer, I believe.
Yeah, so he's some kind of officer, but again, he is speaking untruths and loosely. And so BK is just shouting out the obvious, because, you know, when we're up here, like BK, myself, any other urban apologists that are up here, like, we are vetting our sources. We're ensuring and making sure that we are prepared for these types of things. When we're presenting information, we are sourced up. We're not just out here at the top of, off the top of the dome, whatever. Yeah, there's some stuff we can do that on, but we are careful. And also we have respect enough for God to make sure that we are not misrepresenting him or the information.
Right. So again, I show Exodus 1:11 where they were oppressed and they were building stuff. All I'm saying is they didn't build the pyramids. They didn't build the pyramids. So DMG, if you can share my screen so I get to the next one. All right, here we go.
All kind of sickness and diseases. And it plagued the Native American Indians, plagued them. They should have built a wall for them when they came.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. So let's get Second Esdras, chapter 13, verse 40 for the sister. Let's share a little history on our people, man. The tribe of Gad. You have the tribe of Gad, which is the Native American Indians, and you have the tribe of Reuben, who are the Seminoles. The Seminoles, you can find them today in South Florida. Florida has a college football team that's called the Florida Seminoles. All right? The Seminoles is a tribe that the oppressor could not conquer.
All right. So, let me share this. So they said, DMG, if you can share my screen. So they're saying that the tribe of Gad, right, which is the name of the American Indians, and you have the tribe of Reuben, who are Seminoles. So Phil, can you break down a little bit of the history of the Seminoles for us?
Yeah, so the Seminole people, part of the information that he said is absolutely correct. Yeah. The Seminoles they are known as the tribe that was never conquered, right? But the information that I don't think he understands and knows is that most people have this misconception about the Trail of Tears, thinking that the Trail of Tears was just the Cherokee tribe that went on the Trail of Tears. But actually, there was a mass, you can't even call it a migration, a displacement of many different tribes. One of those tribes being a larger portion of the Seminole themselves. So the Seminole actually have a larger population that is in now what is called Indian Territory in the now modern state of Oklahoma. And there was just a remnant group of the Seminole and the Muskogee and the Creek natives that were also a conglomerate and mixed in as well with some of the freed slaves or escaped slaves, which is where you get a lot of the Black Indians, which is where a lot of the Abos use as evidence to show that, see, look, we've been here. But you can't use that same information with a lot of the Plains tribes because we weren't part of the first contact groups. But again, so it shows the holes of their information. They don't realize that there's a larger population of the Seminole tribe that is in Oklahoma today. And there's also the remnant tribe that was left in Florida, those who did not want to leave, who ended up not leaving Florida and the South. And that is also the Florida Seminole version of it. So how is this tribe that was one, and one part that is in Oklahoma be the tribe of Gad, and then the ones that stayed in Florida that were a conglomerate group with the Creek and many other tribes too, the Chickasaw, there was many other tribes that all came but are now known as the modern Seminole. And then the Black African slaves that were mixed in, whether they were escaped or freed. And then those are the ones that retreated into the Everglades systems. So how are they Reuben? And this other tribe of Seminoles, somehow they're just fit in with Gad. That doesn't make sense. So yeah, that's the breakdown. And go look it up. Use Google, fam. Go ahead and Wikipedia it up, because we know that's what you're gonna do.
DMG, can you thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's keep going.
And the Southern Kingdom came to America after the Assyrian captivity, after they was free from those heathens, and came to America. And we're gonna read about this, all right? A lot of people don't know Christopher Columbus, how he found out about the Native American Indians being over here in America. He read the Bible. He read 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 4.
All right. So you heard what the man said. All right. That Christopher Columbus. Well, let me show you. He says
that's in the Bible.
That's in the Bible, baby.
Right. So they are saying that the way Christopher Columbus was able to make it here because he read 2nd Esdras. Right. All right. So we have his writings. Right. We have many of the writings that Columbus has, the writing back and forth to various people. So this is a letter to Luis de Santiago from February 1493. In his first letter announcing his discovery, Columbus wrote, "I have discovered a land in which there are many islands inhabited by people without number. It is the Indies. I have taken possession of them in the name of our most fortunate king and queen." Columbus here explicitly calls the land part of the Indies. There's no reference to Ararasef, Israelite tribes, or the 10 lost tribes. In his letter, he makes no mention of this. All right. Journal of the First Voyage, as recorded by Bartolome de las Casas. Quote, "We reach an island which the natives call Gahani. I am certain that it is near the main line of India." Again, Columbus is thinking in terms of Asia, main line of India. No mention of apocryphal lands of Azareth. Here's a letter to Ferdinand and Isabella, March 1493. Quote, "The land is very fertile. There are spices and gold in abundance. I believe that this is the land of the Grand Khan, as described by Marco Polo." Columbus, again, is mapping discoveries to known Asian geography from medieval sources. Azareth is not mentioned anywhere. He never makes any claim that he's getting his information from 2nd Esdras. Ever.
Think about it logically. Just think about that logically. So if he was using the Bible and he was like, all right, so we're going to use this coordinates and blah, 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 and boom, he finds it, what would be the first thing he said? We found him, right? Yep. We found it. We're on it. But nah, he's like, we found India.
He thought he was in Kubla Khan land. That's crazy.
Right? Yeah, Genghis Khan, baby. He thought, shoot, we found it. We was in India, baby.
All right, DMG. Let's keep on moving.
All our tribes is down there. All our people that's down in South America and stuff. We're gonna read about how they got over here. The oppressor will tell you that they came from Siberia. That's white supremacy. Anybody that teaches that is white supremacy. You understand? I see a lot of black people, on TikTok and a lot of other social media platforms saying that. I heard about that when I was in school, coming from the oppressor, saying that the Indians came from Siberia.
I would stop it right there. So they are claiming that if anyone teaches, right, all our tribes that's down there, all our people that's down in South America and stuff, we're going to read about how they got over here. The oppressor would tell you that they came from Siberia. That's white supremacy. Anybody that teaches that is white supremacy. Phil, is this white supremacy, bro?
No. It's actually fact. It's actually truth. Let me share my screen this time.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Let's see. Share screen. Let's just do that one. All right. Let's do a little history lesson. Because I don't know if we're going to go over it, and I don't know if you timestamped it, BK, but these guys don't know how to read. Because they flashed my tribes, because I did flash my tribes. But what is customary amongst my people and many other tribes is that we don't just express our tribal affiliation, but we also tell who we are as far as our clanship. And so I told them I was part of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara people, also known as the MHA Nation, or the 3 affiliated tribes, which we are on the governmental books as. But I did flash up my my clanship, and then that's where they were like, "Hey, no," because I am a member of the Locap people, the Locap clan, and I'm a child of the Prairie Chicken clan. And so they're like, "Oh, look at chicken. There ain't no chicken clan, ain't no chicken tribe, blah, 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 blah." And they went in, and this is how we know he's a $5 Indian. And because they didn't know. They don't know. So I am a part of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and the Arikara people, and I am also wearing my customary shirt when I'm talking about my people, the Mandan, Hidatsa, and the Arikara people. That is our flag. And here is our, and we are established by the 1851 Fort Laramie Treaty. Our lands were established during that treaty. And then, of course, the government being what it is. And believe me, fam, there's enough hatred for the things and the atrocities that the white man has done. So I'm not here capping for the white man. I'm not here trying to defend the white man. But what I am here to do is to ensure that you are not propagating and using my tribal history and my people to spread your lies. There's enough things for you to grapple with and for you to take, but don't use my people. So yes, I am part of the 3 affiliated tribes of Mandan and Arikara Nation. This is my tribal affiliation to show you I am not $5 Indian. Again, look, there it is. See it? See it in the background? There it is. Just so you know. So why is this relevant? So let's do a little history lesson real quick. I'm just going to show you a little bit of my family. Now, I got gentlemen, and I got some of these Hebrews probably don't even know who their daddy is. But this is my many times great-grandfather. His name is Black Hawk. He was born in 1848 in like a fishhook village to my many times great-grandfather, Chicken Can't Swim, and his wife, Brown Husk. And he was also married to Mink, who was a Crow lady from the Crow tribe, who is now located in what is now known as Montana. And so he had 19 children, and Black Hawk and his family were part of the Hoshka band of Hidatsa. Again, here's a history lesson, ISUPK. Y'all never heard of the Hoshka band, have you? You probably never even heard of the Hidatsa people. Where are we relevant? Where do we fit in history? Well, you probably heard of Sacagawea, right? Actually, her name is pronounced Sagagawea, which is my language, which means bird woman. And Sagagawea was part of the Discovery Corps. She was picked up by Lewis and Clark from my people. Sagagawea was not a Hidatsa. She was actually a Shoshone who was captured by the Hidatsa when she was very young. And she was absorbed into our tribe. So my people, My people, the Hidatsa, is where Sacagawea came from. So back to my story in particular, Black Hawk, my brother, or my great grandfather, was part of the Hoshka band from like a fishhook village. And he went to Fort Buford when they were forced back to the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation, which is where I now live. In 1894, he was forced by the U.S. government to divorce his wives, so he divorced Mink and married different cherries. Black Hawk was the second chief from Crows Fly High, who is also one of my relatives distantly. As the chief of the Hidatsa at Fort Buford, his son, Joseph Youngbird, succeeded him in his position when Black Hawk passed away. This is Joseph Youngbird and his family. So notice the young lady in the elk tooth dress. I'm tripping in the chat. That's cool. Show me your lineage, how far you can go back. This is Mary Youngbird, my 2-time great-grandmother. This is me and my family, my mother's. Actually, when we were taking this picture, my 2 times great-grandmother was actually in the hospital. She was supposed to be in this picture with us. The Hidatsa people, we have and this is part of this book that Alfred Bowers wrote after spending some time with us, and we taught him our ways. So he documented many of our things right from one of our villages. So this is the Hidatsa Social and Ceremonial Organization book printed by the U.S. Government Printing Office. And so this shows, and this part here shows that of a very robust adoption protocol. So does this sound like some folks who don't know who we're talking about? Indigenous Black man, does it sound like I'm tripping? Do you know any of this stuff about your people? I don't think so. But we had a very robust kinship and clanship system, a very robust adoption system. And also we knew our clans. So this is the 50th anniversary issue of the Hidatsa Sanish College, the college which my tribe has. And they updated all of our clans. So you never heard of these clans, ISUPK, IUIC, because y'all don't know. Y'all don't know anything about us. The Hidatsa clans, there's the 3 clan, the Apukawiga, which is the Lokap, which is my clan. The Mahochadi, who is the Alkali Lodge. The Metsidoka, the Flint Knife clan. The Awache, the Dripping Dirt. The Zidska, which is where I'm a child of, the Prairie Chicken clan. The Midibadi, which is the Waterbuster clan, and the Itishuka clan, which is the Wide Ridge. I'm speaking my language. I know these clans. When I hear Zidska, I know exactly who they're talking about. When they're talking about the Itishuka, I know exactly who they're talking about. When I hear the Metsidoka, I know exactly who they're talking about. We don't know who we are. We don't understand our life ways, so much so that you got to tell us, ISUPK. Here's just a hint at how complex our lineage system is. Who is my mother if I'm a boy? So me as a male. Who is my mom? My birth mother is my mom. My mother's sister is my mom. My father's brother's wife is also my mom. My clan father's wives, those are all my moms, according to our customs. Who is my father? My birth father. Who is my father? My father's brothers. My mother's sister's husband. My father's mother. Does this look like this is something simple and easy? No, we know who we are. We know who we are. So in the video, he says, we got another comment from Mr. Phil Fox, and he said, what time frame did the Native American people come from Israel? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question, he said. Right? That's a good question. What I have to say is about 5,000 or 6,000, if I ain't mistaken. If I'm wrong, I'll get back to you, he said. or just tune into class. You know, he tried to default to go back. Tune into class because I don't know is what he was saying. He said, about 5 or 6,000 or 4 or somewhere around that number. All right, don't quote me on that. This is a teacher. This is someone who's supposed to know. So again, my people, but I have some older relatives. So abos who think y'all know. Bruce, think y'all know? What did he say? Well, let's go back here real quick. What did he say? How many years?
5 to 6,000.
5 to 6,000? Well, I have a relative that's 12,000, almost 13,000 years old. DNA evidence. Relative. Well, we don't use DNA evidence. We don't use science. We just use the Bible. All right. Well, how is your Bible validated? How in the world that you know anything in that Bible is true? Because there's archaeological evidence to show. There's time frames to show exactly what was going on, and it's validated using science and those methods, whether you like it or not. So this is what he said, 5,000, 6,000 maybe. So here's the peer-reviewed article. Native American boy found in what's now known as Montana. If you want to reach out, I have this article. It's behind a paywall. It costs $30. I can give it to you for free. I'll afford you that. I'll give you that. If you come to me in earnest and like, hey, yo, I want that article, I'll give it to you. This is where he was. This is the Anzac burial site. The reason why he was called the Anzac is because that was the last name of the people who found him. He was found on that land, this boy. A young boy about a year old, roughly. And they cleared it with all of the tribes in Montana to ensure that they can do the dating and disturb this site. And then they collectively gave him back to those tribes. So the remains of Anzac I is what he was called, were discovered on the Anzac family property with the front end loader when they were just doing some stuff, some excavating of their own. And along with 125 artifacts, the artifacts and remains have been covered in red ochre, a mineral pigment, which is widely used in ceremonies. So this is part of the ancient Clovis culture in Montana. So they showed care. These are goods. These are expensive. This is for a child to be buried with something like this, with this much weaponry with him, is significant. So we don't know who we are, fam. So this is just a snapshot for y'all who try to say, oh, well, y'all are Israelites. So this is the DNA proof. The stuff that is in the black and the dark blue is the furthest away. And you can see it starts to turn more of a green to a yellow to an orange to a red. So we are not part of Semitic people. We're not even close to related to Semitic people, according to the DNA evidence. And this is a snapshot just for ease sake. If you want the article, I'll give it to you. You don't believe me? Take the article. I'll give it to you. Body bag.
Yep. DMG?
Did this gentleman just put a body bag at the end of his presentation?
Yes, sir. And we're not over, D. We're not over yet.
No, we're not done.
We're not done. We're not done.
Hold on.
We're not done.
One more thing.
Oh, yeah, Phil.
One more thing.
We're not done, D. We just starting.
Let me see.
We are just starting, sir.
Indigenous black man say,
Oh, I don't know. I don't know who I am. Indigenous black man.
I mean, feel free to disagree with Phil. You could come and make a presentation and refute the sources. Phil.
So, yeah, I don't know who I am, but I wasn't going to use this flex, but I'll use this flex right now. Now, one person in this world who does not know who they are has their own personal honor song. This song is made for me.
Oh, wow.
They are singing about me. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I don't know anything about who I am. What other Afro got their own personal honor song? What other Hebrew Israelite got their own personal honor song? Talking about what they're saying in this song is my brother, he is generous. My brother, he gives to the people. My brother is spectacular. They say he is Hidushka, our language. I don't know who I am. I live good. They write songs about me. They tell stories about me. But I don't hear no other Israelites, even the ones that aren't claiming to be Israel. What? Show me your song. What you got? Even a story. Something. What you got? Didn't think so. I didn't want to have to flex.
Well, they do say that every hero has to have his own theme song, right? So, I mean,
that was not fair what you just did. That was not that. Oh my goodness, man! That I can't believe you just did that, man. That's
that was a bonus. That wasn't even part of the thing. That was bonus.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
Pretty much.
Man, I don't know what else to...
That was appropriate. That was very appropriate. Yes, yes. But you know what? We're not done yet, bro. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. All right, here we go.
But wait, there's more.
All right, share my screen, D. All right.
And here
verse 41, but they took this counsel amongst themselves that they would lead the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a farther country where never mankind dwelt.
Yes, and that was America. And say that name of that place before it was called America. Go ahead and read.
Keep going. You want me to keep reading?
Yeah, the name of the place should be in there before it was called America.
It says, verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes where they never kept in their own land.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 40.
All right, so let's stop there. So he's quoting 2nd Esdras. And the claim being made here is that Azareth is actually America. All right? That's what they're saying, that Share my other screen, D. Thank you. All right, so this is the claim they're making. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Second Esdras. Right, this is from the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha, Volume 1 of Popular Literature and Testaments by James H. Charlesworth. The treatise, identified in Latin manuscript as For Ezra, comprised chapters 3 to 14 of an expanded form of the book traditionally included among the apocryphal of English Bibles under the title Second Esdras. This expanded form includes a Christian framework comprising chapters 1F and 15F, commonly called 2nd and 5 Esdras in the latter Latin manuscripts. Now, it's interesting how this book, what it speaks on. The opening 2 chapters set forth a divine call to Ezra, a man of priestly descent, to reprove the Jewish people of their waywardness despite God's repeated mercies. Rejected by Israel, Ezra turns to the Gentiles and is granted a vision of great multitude that stands on Mount Zion, each receiving a crown from the Son of God, whom they confess in the world. This is in Ezra's. They love going to this, but in this, it talks about how Ezra had to turn to the Gentiles. And there was a great vision of a great multitude who was standing on Zion. But that's besides the point. I just want to share that. So this is Second Esdras, what they were reading, right? These are the 10 tribes which led away from their own land into captivity in the days of King Hosea, who Salmanaser, the king of the Assyrians, led captive. He took them across the river, and they were taken into another land. But they formed this plan for themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the nations and go to a more distant region where mankind had never lived, that there at least they might keep their statues which they had not kept in their own land. And they went in by the narrow passages of the Euphrates River. For at that time the Most High performed signs for them and stopped the channels of the river until they had passed over. Though that region, there was a long way to go, a journey of a year and a half, and that country was called Azareth. And they believe that Azareth is America. Well, in the 10 Lost Tribes, A World History by Zevi Ben Dor Benite, even a cursory reading uncovers that Esdras is referencing the core story in 2 Kings, the exile by Salmanaser. He also clearly alludes to the Deuteronomic verse foretelling the exile of the tribes to, quote, another land. The first usage merely echoes the verse in Deuteronomy and speaks of an unnamed land and other land, in Hebrew, Eretz Ahareth. It is simply a land other than the land of Israel, as opposed to known locations of exile, the rivers of Babylon, Egypt. It is unknown. This Azareth place is unknown. We just know that it's another land, right? Recall that Deuteronomy had addressed the lostness of the tribes by emphasizing the total anonymity of their new place of dwelling. Esdras, however, names the place by converting the Hebrew words Eretz Ahareth into one designator, Azareth. The replacing of the E and the A is because when not in construct state, the Hebrew word Eretz reads Aretz. The, quote, other land of Deuteronomy, previously defined only by what was not, becomes a real and concrete entity with a proper name, a region which is called Azareth. So this is just some backstory on how this word came about, right? It's just this mysterious other land, and it became a one word as opposed to two, okay? From a theological standpoint, Azareth is, of course, a metaphor, an imaginary and pristine place juxtaposed with our own mundane and tainted world. Yet, at the same time, it's presented as a real location reached via familiar and known geographical markers. The word itself is simply a mistranslation of the Hebrew term for another land. It's a metaphor for an imaginary and pristine place. And this is from Azareth in the Lexham Bible Dictionary. Azareth appears in the book of 2nd Esdras as a destination where Israelites were deported. Beyond this single biblical reference, the place name has no corroborating attestation in other historical or geographical sources. There's nothing here that backs up that Azareth is America. In fact, no one knows where Azareth is. No one. There's no corroborating evidence in other historical and geographical sources. There isn't any. They're literally making it up. Nowhere, the consensus is that Azareth is this pristine, imaginary, far-on place. That's it. That's all. Phil, D, your thoughts before we continue?
Well, BK. Now, hold on, man. Is this the devil's history, or is this like where are you? Where are you getting this information from? Because I mean, listen, man, the Dark Ages was when our people was actually ruling.
Really,
Europe.
bro? This is what you're doing? This is what you're doing?
No, hear me. I'm saying so, but they don't tell you that. So I'm just saying, where are you getting this from? That we don't know where Azareth is. The brother said read the Bible.
Well, first of all, I mean, we don't even consider Second Ezra's canonical. Not that there's no worth in the book, but it's not part of our canon. So that's one. Two, this is the consensus in academia. There hasn't been any proof that Azra is America or any other place, for that matter. There's just none. So, yeah, I guess, I mean, because if we're going to play the genetic fallacy and say, well, this is wrong because white people say it, then we need to get off StreamYard because white people own it, and we shouldn't use StreamOn on YouTube because white people use that too, right? Mm-hmm. So if we're going to play that game.
And all you hoteps can't read none of y'all books because all y'all sources.
I'm just saying, right? We're going to play that game. That pocket Zondervan pocket dictionary I use BK love so much.
White.
That's white. I'm just saying.
Are you not entertained?
Okay, so anyway.
Are you not entertained?
So let's continue. DMG, we can well, let me share. Hold up.
That nickname just becomes more and more appropriate the longer this goes.
All right, so here we go.
Come on. The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
See what you're doing, BK.
Gad is the Native American Indians, and that troop did overcome him over here in America. That was those colonizers, those so-called 13 colonies, right, y'all? The 13 colonies, colonizers that came over here. They came over, overthrew Gad, but Gad will prevail in the end. How? When Christ come back.
All right. So they go to a verse, right? DMG, if you can, thank you. So they're saying that, Gad is the name of the American Indians and that the troop did overcome him here in America, right? So they're quoting this verse. Genesis 49:19. Raiders shall raid Gad, but he shall raid at their hills. And they're using this as an analogous connection between the fights of the troops that the natives had in America. But
troops,
because it's using the word troops, right? Mm-hmm. But context is everything, right? We have to understand that these scriptures and all historical documents were written to a particular people at a particular time. So when the original audience saw this, what would they have thought? Would they have really thought that it was America and these troops and natives? Or would they have thought of this? And this is from Faith Life Study Bible. Bandits shall attack Gad with its tribal inheritance located east of the Jordan River. Gad regularly had problems with the Ammonites Moabites, Arameans, and an assortment of other semi-nomadic groups. This phrase also highlights Gad's small size. So this is the issue. Where their tribe was located in Israel, their boundaries, they would have these other raiding parties come in to try attack Gad. Okay? And this is from Alan P. Ross, Genesis in the Bible. 3 of the 6 Hebrew words in verse 19 are a play on the name Gad, attack. Gad will be attacked by a raid of attackers, but he will attack. The verb gadad means to break into or to attack. Border raids were often experienced by the tribes settled east of the Jordan River. That's what they were talking about. The ops lived down the block from Gad, right? And these dudes would come in and try to attack, but then Gad will attack them. So this is like almost a double entendre. You know, it's like you're gonna attack the attackers, but in the end, the real attackers are gonna attack you. That's what it's saying. It's not talking about Native Americans fighting the troops at all. Context is king. All right.
Now hold on. Let me share real quick.
Go ahead, bro. Shout out the vocab.
I mean, this is really some LOD type of stuff. Y'all tagging in and tagging out, taking turns sharing your screen.
That's
BK, I'm gonna call you Hawk, and I'm gonna call my man Phil Animal, Hawk and Animal, the LOD of Urban Apologetics.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, Phil.
All right, here it comes. Yeah, I had it. I didn't have it teed up the way I wanted. So, all right. So close to the same thing. BK and I did a whole show on troop, right? So yeah, so Gad, a troop shall overcome. And again, I had this specific to IUIC, but it's the same. They're using it interchangeably. So, and most of your One West variety Hebrew Israelites would do that. Shout out to vocab as well. So again, just a quick word study, right? Oh, I love hot dogs, right? Who doesn't love a hot dog? And I love my family, right? And I love you, babe. Those are 3 different contexts, right? 4 different contexts as to the word love, right? I love lamp. So we have to know that there's a wide range of love, right? Wide range. So the range of what a word can mean isn't just one single thing, especially when we transfer it to English, right? So we know this is all the different translations and Greek translations of the word love. So some of us know that. Some of us, we all know that. So troop, right? Troop that overcame the tribe of Gad was in the United States. Okay, so yeah, so this is the IUIC version. And it's part and parcel of the commentary that they gave with ISUPK, right? Troop, once again. So they're using this word gadad or gadud, troop. And here's the Strongs, which they like to use, right? Here's another Lexham Research, Lexicon of the Bible. Same word, band, raid, troop of warriors. Right? Troop, a group of soldiers in an army, sometimes referred collectively as troops. So here's where it's used, the Hebrew, the same, but we can also call it raider, right? So BK's version of this isn't, now let's see that. So see this troop, this version of troop, is that in the Genesis? It's not. The context of raider or marauder, or the implication is a smaller version, right? That's the Genesis 49:19 version. A marauding band, right? So a smaller group. So was the United States government a marauding band to the indigenous people. So again, just to back up my brother BK Apologist's point, right? This is what's in the larger context. This is what's called a illegitimate totality transfer. So you're trying to force in whatever meaning that you think and fits your own context. So you're just trying to, so you seeing that troop fits and so, all right, I'm going to use that and I'm going to boom, that's the one I'm going to use. But disregarding the actual context is what you're doing. And that this is the lexical fallacy that you're committing is this. So raiders shall raid Gad, but they shall raid at their hills. Gad will be attacked by raiders. So don't think government, think, right? So yeah. So just to back up my brother BK's point,
that's what's up.
To show we're on the same page. This was, fam, I had that. This is completely different slideshows, completely different everything. And that was made years ago. And BK he did his a couple days ago. So just to show we're on the same page, fam.
Yes, sir.
Like, how else would you like to be chopped up? Want me to play my song again?
Nah, chill, Phil, chill. Easy, killer. Easy, killer. All right, let's keep it going.
If you can read, I know devils don't, they don't read. Devils don't know how to read. They cave dwellers. Cave dwellers don't read, you know what I mean? But if you could read, cave dweller, the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, the curses in it, that fits us. That fits Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
All right, so you heard what the man said. He said, if you can share that, D. All right. If we can read, because, Phil's a cave dweller, right? So, but if you could read Cave Dweller, the book of Deuteronomy 28, chapter 28, the curses it fits us. That fits Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. Now, we all know that Hebrew Israelism isn't a monolith, right? There's variations of doctrine. But there are some core things that pretty much all the One West derivatives will abide by. And this is one of them, right? We know we are the people of the book because of the curses of Deuteronomy 28, right? But my question is, do you know what Deuteronomy is? Because if you don't know the genre in which this book is written in, how do you know if you're taking that verse out of context? So Deuteronomy, right? A number of scholars have argued convincingly that there is a relationship in form between the Hebrew covenant and ancient Near Eastern vassal treaty. In its classical form, the Near Eastern vassal treaty has the following component parts. And it listed the preamble, stipulations, oath, blessings, and curses, right? So a study of the oral background and setting of Deuteronomy 27:28 and of ancient Near Eastern treaties more generally reveals that oral pronouncement of the oath before a gathered assembly was a central component of covenant and treaty ratification. The book of Deuteronomy is written in a similar format of a vassal treaty, right? Between the suzerain, which is the big king, and the vassal, which is the small king, right? And in this case, in Deuteronomy, the big king is Yahweh. But in order for this to be ratified, there has to be an oral pronouncement. As we can see, the word Amen or Amin carries within it not only faith, but certainty and steadfastness. It is often used in psalms, prayers, and blessings as a yes, this is true, or yes, I agree. In some cases, the Torah even commands people to say Amen in legal procedures when committing to fulfill something. We see that especially in Deuteronomy 27, but also in Numbers 5:22. So we actually have the oath taking ceremony recorded in Deuteronomy 27:14-8. Right? So I'm gonna need some participation from DMG and Phil Fox. Right? So I'm gonna play the Levitical priesthood. You guys are gonna play the Israelites. Right? Every time you see the word amen, I need you guys to say amen. Okay?
Amen.
And right, not yet, but all right.
Gotcha.
And the Levite shall declare to all the men of Israel in a loud voice, cursed be the man who makes a carved or cast metal image, an abomination to the Lord, a thing made by the hands of a craftsman, and sets it up in secret. And all the people shall answer and say,
Black power.
No, man. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, that too. Amen. But yeah, black power.
Black power, but amen. Cursed be anyone who dishonors his father or his mother, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Amen.
Cursed be anyone who moves his neighbor's landmark, and all the people shall say,
Amen.
Cursed be anyone who misleads a blind man on the road, and the people shall say,
Amen.
And it keeps going like that. This is the oath-taking ceremony. The curses don't come into effect unless you take the oath. So here's the question. Did ISUPK take the oath? Because if you don't take the oath, you don't incur the curses.
Oh, man.
And this covenant continues to get renewed. Why? Because it doesn't pass on biologically. Because we see in Deuteronomy 29:30, Moab renewed under Moses. And Joshua 24, Shechem renewed. And 2 Chronicles 15, there's Asa's reform. Right? 2 Kings 11:17, which coincides with 2 Chronicles 23:16, Jehoiada and Joash. In 2 Chronicles, we have Hezekiah's reform. In 2 Chronicles and 2 Kings, Josiah's reform. And in Nehemiah 8:10, post-exilic. This is when they come back from being in exile. They take the oath. We see it continually happening. So if you're going to say that we know we're Israel because of the curses, well, you had to take the oath for those curses to be enacted upon you. So the question is, did you take the oath? So, and then I think this lastly, I'll just read it. Actually, before I do that, gentlemen, any questions? Comments?
Well, BK, again, I just have to say, are you getting this information from Esau? Or where this information coming from?
Straight from the Vatican, baby.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a direct line with the Pope. You know what I mean? Because I'm a Jesuit. I work for vocab. We're Jesuits.
Yeah.
Commanding General Yohana, General Mahaiman, Captain Tezoria, Captain Katazar, Captain DeGaulle Gabor, they all disagree with you, brother. The Burn Strait is not even a real thing. It's made up.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you where I got my information from. I'm gonna tell you, right? I got my information the same place where they get them spike headbands.
Yep.
That's where I get my information.
Oh wow! So you get your information from an apparel shop? That's
from the white man.
From the leather whip store.
Go ahead, my brother.
All right. So then they say I thought was hilarious. They weren't concerned about no DNA tests when they were on them slave ships, right?
Who?
That's what they said. That's what they said.
When who was on what slave ships?
They wasn't concerned about no DNA tests when we was on them slave ships. He says this, one of the guys. So here's the problem with that. Let's do a little timeline, right? So 1867 was the last known illegal slave ship voyage from Africa to the America is completed. All right. 1869. DNA is discovered by the Swiss biochemist. Oh my God.
You know why, Alfredo?
We won, right? We got the chip?
Yeah, we got the chip, baby.
We got the chip, son. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go, son.
Busting up some
yeah. Yeah.
The same night. Let's
yes.
go, baby. Let's go.
Yes. New York stand up, man.
Yeah.
Anyway. Woo! Anyway, I'm sorry. 1869, DNA discovered by Swiss biochemist Friedrich Mischer. So, right after the last known slave ship, DNA was discovered. Okay. But in 1984, Alex Jeffries at the University of Leicester developed DNA fingerprinting, the first practical method of identifying individuals using DNA. So yeah, they weren't concerned about DNA in the slave ships because they didn't even discover it, let alone were able to use it to identify people. So, with all respect, that was a very ignorant thing to say. I know you're trying to be funny, I guess, but bro, like that's like, know your history a little better. You know what I mean? Like that was just bad. That was bad. And that's all I got for you. We're done.
Well, I feel like y'all came in here. My brother was talking about raiders and plunderers. I feel like y'all are intellectual raiders and plunderers, man. I think y'all messing up the way a lot of us think and believe about where we from, how we got here, or we're already here, etc. I got questions, man. I got questions. My Abo brothers and sisters say we were always here. The slave trade didn't happen the way we told it did. I haven't really gotten an explanation for who Phil's people are, but if we was always here, can two things be true? Can we have always been here and your people still be who they are and what they are?
Well, we gotta prove that we displaced y'all, because that's the common narrative, is that we've displaced y'all and somehow we took over and we're in cahoots with the United States government. And
oh, really?
You gotta go. You gotta go. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you think that indigenous people have this weird love for the United States government and we absolutely love, why do we have some of the history that we have? Why was there the Dakota 38, the Dakota people that were hung, the largest mass execution of indigenous people to this date on this country? President Abraham Lincoln hung 38 indigenous warriors. Why do we have those types of histories? Why was it that the Mandan people, my people, lost 90% of our population due to smallpox? How is that being in cahoots somehow with this United States government to try to take away your identity as an Abo? How does any of that fit? See, y'all just use stuff that happened on the East Coast, where yes, there were tribes, very few of them, and for a very short time, who took black slaves because they were trying to assimilate into the white way of life, the European way of life. And then they abolished that even before there was the abolitionist movement. So y'all want to take those little pieces of history and try to propagate that into explaining as to how but y'all can't bring that same narrative to my people and many of the Plains tribes, because we fought tooth and nail. Look right here. Right here. There's a reason why there's an entire encyclopedia of Indian wars that were happening between us and the U.S. government. Y'all can't bring that garbage here and explain this stuff away. There's almost a century, over a century of indigenous wars, Indian wars that were happening. Look how thick these books are. And these aren't long narratives. Look, there's one right there. There's another one right there. Just overview. Look at that. Pages and pages of wars and wars. Same thing with this book. So explain all that away. How are you going to say, Abo, that they're just, you know, they're in with the United States government to take away our identity? How are you going to explain that? You can't. Because we were already here. We have DNA evidence. If y'all people was here, show us the evidence. Show us the evidence. No, it's all cursory evidence. It's all picture evidence of Indians being darker and stuff. Yeah, we lived outside. That was our culture. We were outside people. We lived outside. We worked and we had things. So yes, we were darker in color back then. Absolutely. If I go outside and I spend a lot of time, when powwow season comes around, I am dark. But it's because it's just coming off of wintertime where I'm inside most of the day. I get a lighter complexion. So you want to argue with that? Show me the proof. Show me, other than just pictures, other than these and Hebrew Israelites, other than these fake artifacts, the Las Lunas stones and the that Creek stone and all those types of things.
And Mormon stuff. Tell them, Phil.
So yeah, show me. Other than these very loose. Oh, they took the terms and they reclassified us and that's how. And you know, making it like we're in cahoots with the government, like we love the government, and we were sitting there thinking up ways on how to displace the darker the black abos. Nah, ain't none of that. Y'all got to keep it on the East Coast. Y'all have no answers for any of the stuff that I have shown you. There's a reason why that we're about to, here in about a month, celebrate Victory Day, when we took out Custer.
Oh, woo! Yo, I've seen that. Yo, they are wild disrespectful of Custer, bro. Yo, their ceremony. Yo, they literally mopped the floor with the Confederate flag, bro.
With Custer's flag, not the
with
Confederate
Custer's flag. My bad.
Custer's flag, his personal flag that he had because of his own little regiment. We danced and we wiped the floor with that flag.
Disrespect, bro. Yes.
We march in, we're singing our music, we're singing a victory song, and we're dancing in, and we have all of our eagle staffs, which are our version of a flag, and we carry our eagle staffs nice and high, and then we drag Custer's flag on the ground.
Yeah, buddy.
So
buddy.
So abos, what y'all think we got love for the United States government? Ain't got no love for the United States government. I got shows upon shows. I've done hours talking about the doctrine of discovery itself and how it's stood up the roots of racism in this country, and how the bedrock foundation of these United States government, actually that's what this whole entire row of books is about. It's about the doctrine of discovery and how the United States government has used and disenfranchised my native people, how they had to set up our own Indian tribal law, our own law, to use it against us. So that way they can stack the deck against us. So they have regulatory law, and then they also have Indian law separate. So we somehow we love the government. Somehow we're trying to do a con job on you abos. For what? We're fighting our own war against the United States government.
Let me ask you something, Phil. So provided the relationship between your people and the government, What do you say to someone who purports that Christianity is the white man's religion, that is part and parcel to white supremacy, and it's been used to control not just my people, but your people as well? It was used to pacify oppressed people. How do you answer that, given your people's relationship to the government? And dare I say, well, I guess the first question would be, before you answer that, what is your people's relationship with the Bible? Is it similar to what BK and I encounter in the conscious community?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I get called an apple all the time. I'm red on the outside and white on the inside. So listen to this. This is a book that talking about the doctrine of discovery. Native America Discovered and Conquered, Thomas Jefferson, Lewis and Clark, and Manifest Destiny. This is in the open. And I ask you, PK, since you're listening and I have your ear, there was a show that actually BK happened to be on where he mopped the floor with Captain Tazariak. And on that show, I happened to ask Captain Tazariak if he knew what the 10 elements or the 10 tenets of the doctrine of discovery were, because he was trying to use the doctrine of discovery and, again, my indigenous people's hurt to stand up to false claims. So let me show you. Here's the 10 elements of discovery, of the doctrine of discovery, by one of the foremost experts. Robert J. Miller is his book. This is his book. So the 10 elements are: 1, first discovery; 2, actual occupancy and current possession; 3, preemption and European title; 4, just bear with me because this is going to pay off in the end, Indian title; 5, tribal, limited, sovereign, and commercial rights; 6, contiguity; 7, terra nullius; 8, Christianity; 9, civilization; and 10, conquest. So one of the elements of the doctrine of discovery is the weaponization and the bastardization of Christianity. Now, when you're asking that question, my question back to them is, yeah, I have the same view as Frederick Douglass. When he couldn't discern the two Christianities, the one that he read in the Bible and the one that crossed over with the white man, because those two Christianities don't mix. Those two Christianities are not the same thing. The message that I hear from Jesus talking about forgiveness and social justice. Oh, I use the buzzword, right? All my white friends are going to be mad because they don't like that word, social justice. But no, social justice is a mandate that we are to love our neighbors. We are to, and surprisingly, if you look at the actual Christianity that Jesus taught, it's closer tied to many of my indigenous people's values and things that we have done. Community. I talked about our lineage, our kinship, our clanship systems.
Tribes.
Because our tribes.
Right.
Yep. Everything is tribal. Jesus was a tribal man of the tribe of Judah, right? We know that he was of that tribe. And guess what? Each tribe, right? The reason why each of those tribes happened to be different, right, is because each line had a specific reason to be part of the larger community. So the same thing is, and with my indigenous communities, is that many of our clans had different functionalities within our larger tribe. So it's the same thing. And so we, and yes, I do believe absolutely that we are one human race. I do believe, yes, that we all came off the ark. I do believe that we are one people and that we all are part of the Tower of Babel. That's where our languages got mixed up. I do believe that wholeheartedly, 1000%. But the part that I disagree with is where the Hebrew Israelites or the Abos or anyone who is trying to come and tell me exactly who I am and say that I forgot my identity and y'all don't know, fam, because you're a $5 Indian. Tell me what $5 Indian has their own song talking about them and their antics and their deeds and the things that they've done, part of their community. Oh yeah, I'll wait.
And to ISBK St. Louis there, he says, I'm actually falling asleep. Actually, you have fallen asleep. Not falling, fallen. That's kind of what the problem is. So,
and that's cool. That's cool. See, because they can't, he can make comments like that all day long. That doesn't bother me because see, the reason why he's got to say stuff like that is because he's not going to come with any scholarly arguments. He hasn't sat down with any tribal elders to tell him, actually, you know what, you're wrong, sir, because I sat down with this elder and we spent hours and we had coffee or we sat around the drum and had hours and hours of conversations talking about this and that and these things, and they told me no, they don't do that because they can't. So they have to go and say, oh, I'm falling asleep. That's cool. Go ahead, fall asleep. That's because you ain't got nothing for me. Because again, you only read about this stuff. I live this stuff. I am this stuff. I am in my community. I am doing things in my community. I help teach the other day people how to make dream catchers. I help young people in my community about a month ago. We made drums, religious and ceremonial for our music and for us to pass down our way of life. That's stuff that I do. I live it. Y'all just think about it and want to pretend. If we had time, DMG, I would show you IUIC's biggest blunder when they try to use my tribe and one of my chiefs. They try to use the drawings. That's what BK was talking about earlier. They try to use one of the drawings. And I cut them to death and put them in the body bag with that, because they try to say that one of the drawings that was on the actually, you know what? Let's get into it. I'll do a really condensed version of this real quick. You're gonna want to see this.
Yo, D, this is bad. D, watch this. This is bad.
Now this is IUIC, so again, we got to remember that all of these camps are.
Watch how surgical Phil gets. Watch this. Watch this.
All right, let's see. All right, let me get this. And then present entire screen.
We got the chip, baby. We got the chip.
Got the chip, man. Nothing better. Here we go. So again, IUIC, they messed up. Tribe of Gad. Okay, all right. So again, I'm using their content, but this is directly from their website. They're the ones who showed, they gave this to me, all right? All I did is take it. So we're the Tribe of Gad, all right. So this is their website, this is theirs, right? Ooh, look, they even got a little teepee right here. Look, oh, look at that little teepee. Tribe of Gad, all right? Here's the 12 tribes chart, all right? They modified it. I don't know how many times now. Uh-oh, here we go. So here's what they try to use right here. We're going to look at this 33:20. And as of Gad, he said, blessed he that enlargeth Gad. And then look at their commentary. Okay. Just notice, just something for you to notice. Okay. Here's the IUIC version right here, straight from their website. I didn't do anything right here. Here's the actual text. Boom. Look at that. Look at the difference. And look, even in here, all they do is they just bold it. A common person who's not really paying attention, they might think the Bible actually says this stuff, right? But no, thank goodness we know. Okay. So, and he of Gad, he said, blessed he who enlarges Gad, he dwells as a lion and tears the arm of the crown of his head. So we're gonna see that. We're gonna look at that. We're gonna examine that, and that's their biggest blunder. Boom. So they say there's about 300 or so Indian tribes. Again, unlearned. They don't know. There's 574 of them. 300? What? Actually, there's 75 now. 575 because one just got accepted. Indigenous population pre-Columbus, right? Just let's just say approximate lower 48, just approximately. Okay. This is a very conservative number, 25 million approximately. According to the census in 1800, only 250 left. That's a 90% death rate. Okay. Indigenous population today, only 2.9%, 2.09%, okay, of the US population. Okay. So yes, we are still here, but no, we are not enlargeth, right? We are still a small minority of this country, even though our population at one time was 25 million versus 0. And that's just the lower 48. According to some of the census, boom, it was like 100 million on this side, on this hemisphere, north, south, central. All right. IUIC, he dwelleth as a lion, all right? Meaning he dwelled upon the land like predators. Okay. All right. Yeah. This was somebody who quoted this, the Arawak. He brought us parrots and balls of cotton and spears and many other things, which they exchanged for glass beads and hawk belts. They willingly traded everything they owned. They did not bear arms. So basically, they weren't as savage, right, as they said. Who said this? I wonder. It was Columbus. Oops. So some tribes who were war tribes, right? They had warriors, but they weren't war tribes. Some of your less known tribes, because everybody knows the war tribes, everybody knows who the Sioux are. They were fierce, but not all bands of Sioux. There are other bands of Sioux. The more known ones, like the Hunkpapa Lakota, where Crazy Horse came from, those were the larger, more war tribes. But there were other tribes like the Hidatsa, my people, the Mandan, my people, the Osage, the Omaha, the Ote, the Iowa, bands of Pawnee, the Kansas, the Assiniboine. These were all tribes that, yes, they were known for their warriors, but they were not war tribes. So quit trying to lump us all into one generic ball because we're different. So this was Irving Washington Irving, sorry. So they call these people the natives. Religious, he said, would convey a faint idea of the deep hue of piety and the devotion. Talking about the people, the indigenous people. They were told that we were nothing but savages, but he said, look, they're more like a nation of saints than a horde of savages. So a quick history lesson, okay? We went through this. This is my stuff. But this is Mato Topa. This is Mandan. The Mandan chief, his name is Forebears, Mato Topa. Okay, that's going to be relevant here in a second. So we already went through this. This is my stuff. Okay, why is that relevant? So again, their website, IUIC. I was on their website and then this hyperlink for some reason. I was just going over it and it kept hyperlinking. Tereth the Arm, the North American Indian, and it kept coming up as a hyperlink. So I clicked that hyperlink and this picture popped up. DMG, can you tell me what that says, bro? This picture.
This picture was taken from The Way of the Warrior by the editors of Time Life Books, a pictorial illustration of the Blood Brother ritual.
Can you read what? It's a pictorial illustration of what?
The Blood Brother ritual.
Okay. I was like, that looks familiar. And actually, this is taken from Mato Topa Untitled, A Battle with a Cheyenne Chief. Actually, this was taken from a facsimile picture or a pictorial representation of the picture that was on Mato Topa's personal robe. Now, again, who was Mato Topa? Do you remember, DMG? His name was Forebears. He was Mandan. Who am I? I'm part of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and the Arikara people.
Wow.
So, the pictorial illustration of a blood brother ritual. But according to Carl Bodmer, who this picture was given to by Mato Topa. Here he is. He says, how? Mato Topa, December 1st, 1833, Mato Topa brought me a drawing today that he had done for me. It depicts him characteristically fighting with a Cheyenne chief. Afterward, he attentively watched Mr. Bodmer when he was drawing. This was according to Maximilian's journal. This is actually another fax-mailed copy of the buffalo robe of Mato Topa's of the robe telling his stories. Now, look at this picture. Does this picture down there on the bottom right kind of look familiar? This is in the Knife River Historical Villages here in North Dakota. This is hanging in one of the earth lodges that are still there, and it's now a historical site where our earth lodge villages were. And here it is. So again, Mato Topa Untitled. DMG, can you tell me what's there in the brackets? What does that say there?
Battle with a Cheyenne chief.
Wait, I thought that was a pictorial representation of the what? The blood brother?
Blood brother ritual.
Oh, yeah, but here's the actual robe. Woo. 1835. This is in the primary. This is in the historical museum in, it's like Sweden or Switzerland, one of the two. It's still here. It's still around. This is the actual robe. They didn't think they were going to run into a Ma'i Hagadesh, who was part of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara people. They thought they were going to be able to take and spread their lies, just like ISUPK is doing, just like any other of these 12 tribes chart carriers are doing. Here's a close-up. They didn't think they were going to run into someone of the likes of me, Cheyenne chief with the knife. On the far right was the famous battle of Four Bears had with the Cheyenne chief. The chief challenged Four Bears to combat with rifles and horses. When Four Bears' powder horn was shot away, the two turned to bows and arrows until they ran out of arrows. Both dismounted and turned to hand-to-hand combat. The Cheyenne chief drew his knife during the struggle, and Four Bears was cut across the hand multiple times while wrestling it away from him. Four Bears can be seen bleeding from his hand in the picture. This is the Blood Brother Pact. I knew it! But they lied. Blood is a modern, this is just the next point. Blood is a modern and European concept. We don't have, and I already showed you this, our familial system. But I digress. Again, body bag.
So D, you have to understand the degree of disrespect that we just saw, because IUIC actually used a family heirloom from Mahat Gadesh family line to propagate a white supremacist trope. That's what they did. Blood brother pact. No. They used his lineage, his great ancestor, to propagate a white supremacist trope. If that's not disrespect, I don't know what is.
And that's why I take it so personally.
Crazy.
That's why I take it so personally. Because we got these fools out here taking my history, rewriting it so that way they can stand on the street corner in 121st or whatever their address is. I heard them on the
One West.
I heard him, the Captain Yohana at the 121st, his whole little speech. But y'all do that and don't know a lick about what you're talking about, especially when it comes to my people. But yet y'all want to sit there, I'm bored, I'm falling asleep.
Oh, you caught that? Oh, man. Listen, this is like you really shot in the face of a lot of the things that's been put forth in our community. So let me get clarity on this, because I don't think I've ever talked to Cap about this. So the idea is that, because there are you have the tribe and the people you belong to, but then there are how many other surviving tribes?
Well, right now, federally recognized, there's 575. Used to be 74. That's just federally recognized. Then there's another 300 and so that are state recognized, and then there's a handful of tribes that are trying to get their recognition. But I mean, when we talk about tribes that are in, and that's just the United States. I'm just talking about the United States. That's not counting all the tribes that were in Central, in the Yucatan, in South America, in Canada. All of those tribes, they all of them are different. So I mean, it's probably in the thousands of tribes that were actually here. And again, the reason why this is important is because we all have different culture ways. We all have different life ways. We all have different ceremonies. We all have different languages. We have different belief systems. Now, yes, there are some things that overlap, just like things that were happening in Israel, right? They were sharing culture, and they were rubbing off on each other, and because they were in proximity to one another. And so they were sharing culture with each other, and they couldn't help but pick up this ceremony or that ceremony. And actually, we would even buy and purchase ceremonies from each other. And we would have a ceremony to do that, and we would purchase the right to perform that ceremony, and all of those things, and songs and words and all these different types of things. So yes, we were cross-pollinating together as well. So that's why it's maddening, because I am Hidatsa and Mandan and Arikara, and I carry all of those things. I am learning the languages. Our languages are dying. I'm learning our life ways, our customs, our stories, our origin stories. Even amongst those three tribes, there's different origin stories. There's different creation stories, even within just those three. But I am different from the Lakota. I am different from the Anishinaabe. I'm different from the Piikani or the Blackfoot. I seen someone in the chat said that they're Blackfoot. If you know your Blackfoot, then you know your Piikani, or your Anbikani if you're from the Canadian side. So again, like, there's all of these different tribes. There's these different life ways and ceremony ways and religious ways that are rich and beautiful. And yet I have Captain Tazariak, who doesn't know diddly squat about anything about my tribal life ways and customs, trying to tell me who I am because he read some book that's outdated and been debunked for 50, 60, 70, 100 years now. Like, nah, I live this. Y'all are just reading about it. And you need to update your sources anyway. Back Creek Stone, Decalogue Stone.
The Decalogue.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I asked that because I'm just like, that they saying all of y'all are Gad?
Yeah,
and
all of us are Gad, except for somehow the Seminole.
Wow. Okay. Because I'm just so y'all just, I guess, spread out and did y'all separate things. I don't understand. Hey Cap, I need you to holler at me on that one, man. Before we talk about MLK tomorrow, I need to know how all these different tribes make up that one tribe. But yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. Anything in closing, gentlemen?
Thank you for the platform, for sharing the platform. And we're here to defend the faith at the end of the day. You know, that's what we're doing this for. We're not here to, we had a little fun today, but, we're not here to belittle anyone. You know, we're here to defend the gospel. And anytime someone says anything that contradicts the word of God, we're going to say something about it. So, and thank you again, DMG, for allowing us to do that here.
No doubt, no doubt. You all have carte blanche. If you ever want to do something, just hit me up and I will do likewise. I got to get Mr. Fox back on here. BK, look, I'm still trying to convince you to debate Jabari. So, maybe we can do a doubleheader, you versus Jabari and Phil versus Captain K.
That's crazy. That'd be wild. That would be must see TV. Definitely.
Must see for real. No, just like BK said, man. You know, like I don't hate anybody. I ain't any. You know, I'm not here to, to disparage anybody. But, and again, I've told people on BK's platform and every other platform that I've been on. You know, I hate nobody. And actually, I see those who would see me as against them, but I see them as the mission field, not as the enemy. And so I don't hate anybody. I'm not trying to hate you. And you have the right to believe whatever you want. But when you start to disparage my people and try to weaponize real life traumas that people go through and are going through, for your benefit, to line your pocket and the pocket of your leaders, because that's not cap. That's not try to BS around it. That's really what this is all about. It's about lining the pocket of Johanna. It's about lining the pocket of Nathaniel, and putting more money into the upper guy's pocket and letting all the runts do all the hard work and be out there acting foolish, spreading this garbage while they're sitting pretty, riding on white horses with no shirts on, and
man,
and getting drunk on the Passover. So,
hey man, you didn't tell me how ruthless Mr. Phil Fox was, man.
Bro, it's in his name, bro. Defeats the enemy. That's his name. That's his actual name.
That's what my name translates into. My
theme song is my theme song, and my core saying is my name is my name. So,
yep,
there it is. Listen, y'all. His name is his name. Mr. Phil Fox will be back. I can't tell me how to say your name that I'm referring to.
Ma'i Hagadesh.
Ma'i Hagadesh.
Yeah,
Ma'i Hagadesh.
Yeah.
Shall return, family. And next time we're gonna open it up for the panel if he up to it, and see what questions y'all got. You gotta keep it respectful though. You got to keep it respectful. Cap, I'm talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, BK, let me know about the Black Church Files. For those who haven't seen it, we had Damon Richardson on the first episode. We have B. Wash, the humble scholar, on the second episode. Coming up this week, this Thursday, we got Pastor Trey Williams sitting down with my man LP. He is also a pastor. We're going to be talking about church accountability, which is what LP advocates for as far as the church. Prime example, teenage girl gets pregnant, they call her up and admonish her in front of the whole church. And in most instances, compounding the situation or exacerbating the situation to a degree that she already dealing with mentally. Church hurt is what Trey always talks about, because a lot of what we see in the rejection of Christianity is due to church hurt. I can vouch for that myself. But with that being said, you set yourself up for some for a long road to hoe in a lot of cases, because once you go down that road and you let that hurt start to indicate how you engage with the church and with the gospel, you can go down a rabbit hole that's hard to climb out of, because you got to continuously justify why you are or where you are mentally. So again, it's going to be an interesting show. Hope y'all tune in for that Black Church Files episode 3, church accountability and church hurt. How do we reconcile the two? Hey, we will be back at it, family. Mr. Phil Fox, BK Apologist. We're going to have them back on soon. Hopefully, we'll be getting BK and Jabari in the ring. Till next time, y'all. We out of here. That's peace. Thank you to both brothers.
Peace.
I told you I wasn't stepping to. I ain't disrespecting you, son. You wanted to be one way. What? You wanted to be one way. But it's the other way.
Funny how everybody loved the debate till the judges say they lost. Funny how everybody claim they want smoke till the scorecards come across.
My name is my name.
Everybody gangster when the verdict go their way. Taking victory laps, posting on social media all day. But let them catch an L, now the judges all corrupt. Now the rules wasn't fair, now the platform messed up. When you won, it was justice. When you lost, it was rigged. When the spotlight was on you, man, you danced a little jig.
Funny how the narrative changes overnight. You a scholar on Monday, by Tuesday ready to fight.
Y'all don't want accountability, you want applause. Want championship treatment without championship flaws. See, debate ain't about feelings, it's about evidence, argument, and skill. Sometimes you climb the mountain,
sometimes you fall down the hill. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
But it's the other way.
When you win, it's all love.
When you lose, it's another day. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
The same judges you praised last month ain't fair today. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
The facts don't bend for feelings, no matter what you say. My name,
yeah.
My name.
The hate got me laughing. It really tell the story. If the platform wasn't working, why they obsessed with my glory? Every week somebody got an opinion to proclaim, but they still tune in faithfully. That's free promotion of the name. Paradigm shift, TV 314 still standing, while critics in the comments keep demanding and demanding. See the infamous perspective, giving viewpoints room to breathe. The Black Church Files digging deeper than was seen. The Kemet takeover, bringing culture to the floor. The GT perspective, asking questions they ignore. Here you get many choices. Ladies' night, giving divas voices. Different minds, different paths, different truth. Reaching the elders and the youth. But it's the other way.
You said the platform needed you, but somehow you still stayed.
Yeah.
You wanted to be one way,
but it's the other way.
The show keeps moving forward even after people stray. You wanted to be one way,
but it's the other way.
The audience decides, not the stories that you made. My name is my
I've seen debaters come and go, some legends, some pretenders. Some became champions, some became contenders. Some accepted losses and came back even stronger. Others spent 6 months complaining and being bitter even longer. Everybody wanna run a platform. Everybody got advice, but very few know the sacrifice, are willing to pay the price. Fight facts, challenge views, give the people real discussion. Not excuses when you lose. So whether they applaud or whether they complain, one thing remains forever.
My name is my name.
But it's the other way.